Are you ready for a great evening? Are you just ready for a great evening together? Yeah, please. We're going to give you some good stuff, okay? That's why we're here. We are just thrilled that you're with us. And I want to introduce myself. My name is Maria Nemeth. I'm the founder and the director of the Academy for Coaching Excellence. And I know at least some of you who are on this evening, and I want to welcome those of you who I haven't met before. Um, I am a PhD psychologist and a master certified coach through the International Coach Federation. And it is just my pleasure to be with you. I want to introduce you to my two sidekicks. First, Josh, if you introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, everybody. My name is Josh Van Vliet. I am the Chief Operations Orchestrator for ACE, course leader, mentor coach, and it's my pleasure to be with you. This is what we're doing tonight in this webinar is one of my favorite parts of everything that we teach. It's just a real sweet experience. So I'm very excited to get to share it with you all tonight.
Yes, yes, yes. Wayne, please.
My name is Wayne Manning. Hello, everybody. And just here tonight to be present to this wonderful experience for you and to do some things in the background to help keep the machinery oiled, as we say, and glad to be here.
Good. So listen, we're going to be presenting you with some a very valuable tool and some ways of looking at how to use it. The only thing that we ask is that you be willing to take in what you're seeing here, because we are devoted to having you see something about yourself that, as we would say in the US, is going to knock your socks off. Even if you're not wearing socks, it'll still knock them off. Okay? One of the things that we can do is this. If you want to ask me a question, how do they do that, Josh? What do we do?
You can always share a question in the chat, or you can raise your hand, either just by waving at us or by using the Zoom raise hand feature, and I'll have my eyes on that, and we'll invite you to come off mute and share your question.
Great. So anything that you want further clarification about that I'm saying to you, please feel free to ask me, because we are here to take care of you. We are here to take care of you. You know, if you're like most of us, times have been a little stressful, more than a little stressful. Many of us have worked hard. Many of us have, you know, been in a position of not having a job for a long period of time due to many things, including the pandemic. But one of the things that we decided to do, Josh and Wayne and I, we said, why don't we have an evening where our main job is to give people a tool that they can use to lighten their heart and lighten their spirit. And that's exactly what we're here to do, which is why anytime you have a question or a thought, please raise your hand, and I promise we will call on you and make sure your questions are thoroughly answered. Pretty good? One of the things that we do here is this hand wave. So if I might ask, are you getting what I'm saying? Meaning, am I being clear? And if you go like this, let's try it together, just all kind of like this. It means, yeah, it's pretty good. And you might hear someone say something that really touches you, contributes to you, in which case, if you want to acknowledge them, you can just go like this, and they'll see that you're supporting them. So we're going to be showing you some slides, and then we'll go off and I'll talk and we'll show some more slides. So let's look at the purpose of this evening. Okay. The purpose of this evening is to support you to discover your reliable personal guidepost that you can use to choose actions that bring you an experience of harmony, meaning, satisfaction, and fulfillment. That's a pretty big thing to promise, yes? But we've been teaching this, and I've been teaching you this, as many of you know, I've been teaching this work in particular for about 38 years. And as many of you know, I've been actually working with people, either as a coach or a therapist or a trainer. I've been working with people now for 52 years. I'm 77. I like to say I was a child prodigy when I started, but there you have it. I've been around the block for about 52 years. So you can imagine I've worked with one or two people, led one or two workshops. And so if I tell you that you can use this guidepost to choose actions that bring you an experience of harmony, meaning, satisfaction, and fulfillment, please believe me, this is true. So we're going to do this in a special way. Please, next. You're going to discover something called your standards of integrity. Now, there are some of you who have been with me in this work. I think there's about 3 or 4 of you in this group that have been with me in this work for a while. So it could be possible that you've already done this work in terms of discovering your standards of integrity. I ask that you come to this with what we might call a little bit of beginner's mind, so that you can see something for yourself that's a little different than you might have seen. So we might ask, what are standards of integrity? And incidentally, you don't have to take notes unless you want to, because we're going to actually send this recording to you. So if you want, if you want to hear me again, you can always hear me. But if there's something that you miss out of what we're saying, you'll always have that as well. Or feel free to take screenshots if you want of a particular slide, if you feel like you'd like to do that. So standards of integrity, they're the basic and fundamental qualities that are important to you, and they show you the best way to live your life. They don't need to be invented because they already existed. They exist within you. They exist within your heart. They are there. They're waiting for you to uncover so that you can contribute them. And, when we do that, we begin to live an extraordinary life. Because when you act in accordance with these beautiful qualities, you experience a marvelous sense of well-being. That is, beyond a doubt that all is well. So, any questions so far? Any thoughts? Any thoughts when you hear me saying these things? Any musings? Please, Shauna.
Honestly, it sounds exciting, like some really cool stuff. It's right up my alley. I want to have harmony and fulfillment and satisfaction, and yeah, I'm just going to take you at your word, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Thrilled. Great. And Jennifer is saying, bring it on. Anybody else? You sweethearts.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I
Please,
read,
Matthew.
yeah, there was something I read about these standards of integrity earlier, maybe right before the pandemic or at the beginning of it. And
Yeah.
it was such a helpful anchor for me just to draft through some. And I kept them by my dining room table. every day for a few months. And I'm excited to return to them, but with guidance and support in a way that a book is helpful. But human interaction, even through a digital platform, I find is a different experience. And so
It
I feel
really is. Yeah, and it's wonderful that you're saying that, Matthew. One of the things that we've discovered, because of the pandemic, we have not been leading face-to-face courses. And one of the things we were worried about, Matthew, is that there would be a lack of intimacy because of this, But we've been discovering exactly the opposite, that for some reason, when people are together like this, and they're all facing forward, there's a sense of being together that you might not have even when you're doing something, quote, live. So we are very happy for this virtual environment, and very happy because we can see people from all over the world. Are there any of you listening who are outside of the United States? Anyone here? Alejandra, where are you calling from?
Mexico City. Well, it's actually the state of Mexico. It's right beside Mexico City. It's considered the metropolitan area.
What is it called?
Tlalnepantla. It's the state of Mexico.
Oh, great, great, great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Steve, how
you.
about you? Yeah, Steve.
Great to see you, Maria. Always enjoy being here with you. I am in the jungle in the Philippines. That's where I'm at right now.
Wow. Wow. All righty. Thanks for being willing to be here, given the time differences. That's great.
Oh no, it's morning. I might be eating pancakes before you, but maybe I'll put myself
I
on.
love it. I love it. Thanks. Who else? Anybody else? Please, is it Dominica?
Dominica. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, great. Glad you're here. How's the weather up there?
It's really hot, really humid.
Oh my.
But it's a
Oh.
nice change to the winter that we basically had 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well, if there's any of you that are in any state that has a lot of rain, would you please shove it over to us here in California? We are in the middle of one of the biggest droughts ever. So anybody else from outside the US right now? Yes, Lydia, where are you from?
Hi there. So I'm actually in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, great. I'm glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Well, okay. Okay, very good. So we do have a kind of an eclectic audience here. I love it. So we are actually going to get down to having you discover your standards of integrity. Are you ready? It's going to require that you have a couple of pieces of paper and something to write with. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Okay. So, Josh, is this the time when we go to the whiteboard? Perfect. So on the left-hand side of this piece of paper, I'd love you to make a list. Now, don't do it yet. I'd love you to make a list of people who have some qualities or attributes that you admire. Don't do it yet. Let me show you. They can be living or not living. They could be fictional characters. They could be people you've never met, people from your childhood, people who are still in your life. And Josh, are you going to write it as I say it?
Yep, you got it.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So let me give you an example, and then I'll tell you when to start. That I I'd put my Aunt Gloria first. I just love her. She's this month she's 93 years old and just has all her mental faculties. And Uncle Arnold would be this next person. Mother Teresa would be the next person. Just watch me do this, and then I'll tell you when to go on. The Dalai Lama. Great. Tina Turner. Tina Turner. Let me see who else I would put. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. And my existentialism teacher at UCLA, okay? This is such an existential name. He was excellent though. Professor Hans, H-A-N-S, Meyerhoff, Meyerhoff. Professor Hans Meyerhoff. So you see how I'm doing it, yes? We're going to give you a few moments. And during this time, make a list of 5 to 8 people whom you admire. Do it right now. You know, it's such a good exercise. Maybe they're from your childhood, someone who helped you out when you were a kid. Maybe someone you read about. Keep going.
You're muted, Maria.
Oh, see, there you go. Keep going. 5 people are sufficient. Raise your hand if you require some more time. Okay. Anybody else? Go like this if you're finished. Okay, Stacy, you finished? Great. Where's Vicky? I see you, Vicky. Okay, good. You finished, Vicky? Okay, good. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I love it. All right. Okay, good. Now, this is the second half. And as I've said before, don't do it until I tell you to, okay? Because this has to be done in a very particular way. So you're going to first look at the first person on your list. So this, for me, is my Aunt Gloria. And what do I admire about her? She's generous, loving, she's inclusive. By that, I mean she loves to include all the family members. And she's very trustworthy. My Uncle Arnold, he's no longer with us, generous. And so I'm going to put a little check mark. Trustworthy. And he was brilliant. Very good. Mother Teresa. So generous, loving, compassionate, spiritual, very good. Dalai Lama, generous, brilliant, compassionate, spiritual, loyal, and courageous. Now, I know you probably want to know about Tina Turner. So I'll just continue with her and then ask you to keep going. So brilliant, spiritual, courageous, and creative. So by now you've probably gotten the drill, yeah? So you put it down like, so this person is, for example, this person is generous, this person is loving. So you wouldn't put generosity. The quality itself is generous, or they are loving, or they are trustworthy. So would you make your list now? Take your time. Are they diligent? Are they persistent? What other words might we use, Josh?
Maybe they're playful
Mm-hmm.
or creative.
Mm-hmm.
They might be visionary.
Visionary. How about inspiring?
Hmm. Audacious.
Audacious.
Maybe gentle.
Forgiving. How about forgiving? just what it is that the qualities that you see. Keep going. Clear-headed. Maybe they're adept. Truthful.
They might be wise.
Ah, love it. Yes. Ah, yes. Maybe they're dependable. Kind. Maybe they're kind. Raise your hand if you still need a little time. Okay. Take another minute. It's so great that you're all here today doing this work. I promise you, it's just going to bring some real ease into your life. I promise. Remember, some of you, my definition of success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And this is part of that equation, what you're doing right now, about bringing some ease into your life. Okay. Raise your hand if you still need some time. Perfect. Okay, now here is the third and final act to discover your standards of integrity. You're going to look at each and every word. Okay. So, for example, and you're going to ask yourself, does this quality just warm my heart and nurture my spirit? Do I really get a sense of yes, I really like this word, or I love this word? So, for example, I'm looking at generous right now, and you're going to create a second. This is kind of putting it, it's like, remember E.T., the heart light in E.T.? Maybe some of you are too young to have ever seen the movie, but E.T. had this little heart light that would light up when he was, or they were loving. So generous. I love people who are generous. So I'm going to put generous on this second sheet. And you see how I'm putting it in the middle of the page. with a little bit of space on top. Loving, absolutely. It warms my heart to be in the presence of people who are loving. Inclusive. Now, I kind of like that, but inclusive doesn't warm my heart so much. So I'm not going to put it in this second list. Okay, this is just the heart test, a heart light test. Trustworthy, absolutely. And brilliant, you got it. Compassionate. I love people who are compassionate. And spiritual. Yes. Loyal. Oh my goodness. I just love people who are loyal and courageous and creative. Yes. Now, there's something that I didn't put in, but now that I'm thinking of it, because I went through all of this, there's a word that kind of popped out at me, and it's inspiring. So I'm going to put that down. I just kind of bubbled up. So make your list and remember, put it in the middle of this piece of paper. Okay, start now. Just going through your list and make sure that each of these words that you chose score high on your Heartlight test. Anywhere between 5 and 12 of these qualities. And while we're doing that, Tilly and Bao and Miriam and Melanie, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you would, if you have a camera, I'd love you to turn on your camera. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, my friend. How about you, Melanie? Oh, hi, Tilly. Thanks. Thank you. Melanie, maybe, and Bao? Thank you, incidentally, for being willing to go through this process with me. This is really great. You're going to discover something out of this that, as I said, is going to knock your socks off. Thank you, Bao. Thank you so much, Mr. Nguyen. I really appreciate you turning on your camera, sir.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, my
Mhm.
apology to come late.
Oh, please don't ever apologize. All is well. I'm just glad you're here, sir. Raise your hand if you still need some time. Okay. Okay. Tilly, you finished too? Okay, good. So let me ask you a question. Do you like this list? Do you like this list? Does this list kind of, call out to you in some way? It has some meaning for you. Is that true? Great. Denise, are you there? I'd love to see you as well. So let me tell you the truth about something here. Are you ready? So the reason that you love this list is because this is who you are. This is who you are. Yes, this is who you are. Not who you'd love to be, but this is who you truly are in your heart of hearts. I mean, let's go this way. Did I tell you exactly who to put on your list that you admire? No, I didn't. Where did that come from? Where did that list of people come from? Yes, Jennifer, listen, I hope that for some of you, it does make you cry, because this is at long last a discovery of who you are. You see, I didn't tell you who to list. It came from you, from your heart. Did I tell you what qualities to list? No. And let me tell you a secret. In order to really love these qualities, you must know what they are. It's like if I said, I love blue, don't I know what blue is? If I love someone who's compassionate, it means I know what compassion is, or else I wouldn't love it, which means that it's in my heart. I have a receptor site for compassion. Could you stand, Justin, could you stand it to discover that this is who you are? Alejandra? Lynn? Oli? That this is who you are. Some of you are looking like this. So look up here. Some of you are looking like this. Like you're shocked or something, right? This is you. Zelda, this is you. Shauna, this is you. What we're going to do right now is get you into groups of 3. Can we do that, Mr. Josh?
Yes, we've got groups of 4 and
Great.
maybe a couple groups of 3.
Like I said, groups of 4. I said that, groups of 4. And you're going to have a total of 5 minutes. And this is what I want you to talk about. Number 1, am I willing to see that this is me? Am I willing to see that this is me? Number 2, what difference would it make in my life to see that this is who I am? What difference would it make to see that this is who I am? Not who I would love to be, not who I want to be. This is you, folks. This is in your heart. This is you. It's who you've always been. You are now looking underneath. So please, in your groups, I'm going to see you in 5 minutes. Please discuss these 4 things. Make sure everybody gets a chance to speak in your little group, okay?
And just one question, Maria, first. There, 2 of you are logged in via telephone, are you also logged in with a name? Because I need to match those in the breakout room. Make sure you have audio.
Hello?
Okay, one of the phones just went away.
And then we have the 661.
661, are you also on video?
You can press *6 to unmute yourself if you're trying to
Yeah.
unmute at the moment.
Okay, let's just do it.
Okay, sir. See you guys in 5 minutes. Go for it.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back. All right. Okay. Before we proceed on to the next part, which is showing you how to use this, I want to hear from some of you. I want to hear what you're experiencing with this right now, including if you're having trouble with it, you don't like it, you do like it, but you don't know if you can accept it or not, whatever. Yes, Lynn, please.
I'm still playing with some words. Like, for example, I wrote down funny, but that's not correct. The word I'm looking for is, and maybe I just used the phrase, but I see the humor, the cosmic humor in things. The irony of it all, the whatever that word is. Maybe it's discernment, but not quite that either. So I'm just, I'm comfortable with the concept. I'm comfortable not having a single word, but I know for the next several days I'll be going, what is that single word?
Well, something that would encompass all of it for you maybe would be philosophical.
Maybe. I think of philosophical as somber, and I'm hardly.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
Nor do I care to be.
I got it. No, I got it. Okay, just keep looking. Keep looking.
Yep.
Zelda, I'm sorry you're leaving. Thank you, Lynn. Who else?
Vicky.
Please, Vicky.
I found that in going through all these qualities, I accept that I am all of them. So I don't have a problem with that, which made me feel very good about all this self-development work I've been doing.
Oh, sweetie.
I think the only issue is perhaps sometimes being willing to show up in these qualities.
Well, we'll talk about that just in a little bit. Might you be comfortable telling us what those qualities are?
Sure. I am loving, kind, wise, trustworthy, gracious, courageous, playful, brilliant, generous, sassy, creative, compassionate.
Sweet. Sweet. Thank you, Vicky. I love it. Who else?
Justin.
Justin, and then Jennifer.
Hey, y'all. Maria, first of all, I just wanted to say I read Mastering Life's Energies a while back, and big fan of the book, big fan of you. That's why I'm here. And so I obviously was familiar with this exercise and with this work. So my list was something that I've known before, but it was really fun to revisit. And I just always like it because I think I can get on board with this idea that our entire world is a reflection of us. So not just the people we find the qualities or values that we admire, but it just then you can, and I'm excited to hear where we're going to go next with this, but
Good.
that your world is a reflection of you and this thing. And it's just really nice to revisit and be reminded of we're much closer to ourselves at all times than we ever really think we are.
Oh, sweetheart. Thank you very much. I love it. More
Yeah.
close. Yeah. Closer to ourselves. Yep. Thanks, Justin. And might you be willing to read yours, sir?
Yeah, sure. Mine today were tenacious, powerful, demanding, humble, transformative, expansive, truthful, and authentic.
Great. Great. Perfect. Okay, who's next? Call
We
them
got
out for
on
me.
Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer.
So, I mean, I shared in the, chat that it made me cry. It really did, just like that spontaneous, like tear thing happened as soon as you said, this is you. And that was just such a lovely treat. And I shared in our breakout group that it just really is like a perfect way to cap today. Today was like, I earlier thought of it as challenging, but I'll just change the perspective and say that it was energetic. So it's a very energetic day, and a lot of like relationships and pivoting and changing and creating new things for a lot of different people, and it's just one of those kind of days. And I felt a little worn by it, but I also felt a little inspired by it as I was leaving work and coming home, kind of drained, yet simultaneously like, filled by the energy of the day. And like this list explains why.
Sweetie.
So,
that's good.
And then the other thing I want to acknowledge is that the fun thing is that you gave us permission to throw some fictional in there. And I've always said, I've always every once in a while, I'm like, my perfect partner would be, and over the course of 20 years, there's always like someone else added to it. So my perfect partner is this amalgamation of about like 80 different characters living a life, fictional and real. And so it was just so neat to be able to acknowledge fictional folks, spirits that I look up to, and then no wonder, because there's this compatibility, we share traits. But it was just, that was really fun, and I appreciate this.
Oh, great, Jennifer. Great. You'll see what you're going to see where we go with this next.
Cool.
This is really great. Who's next?
Shauna.
Hi,
next?
Shana.
Hey, Shauna. Yes.
I just wanted to say, it's been really cool, and I somehow had a feeling as I started writing this list that it was going to somehow connect to myself. But anyhow, I feel like I can identify, but it was more eye-opening for me. Like, wow, hey, these are some cool ass things. And I'm like super cool human. Like, wow, how amazing. And then one last part I wanted to add was one tough part for me was it was tough for me to identify people that I admire, look up to, kind of thing. Other than like my mom, it really took some hard thinking. So I found that to be a little challenging. I was able to come up with a few though. So
good. Oh, so fabulous. Good for you. Thanks. Who else now? Who's next? Is it Sandy,
Sandy.
or okay, Sandy.
Hi, Maria. I took Mastering Life's Energies back in 2000. And I remember we had the little cards. I probably still have it somewhere that had the standards of integrity on it. And it was actually easier that way. But this is more challenging, but I definitely enjoyed going through the exercise.
What makes it more challenging, Sandy?
Well, because you have to really dig, and come, bring it from the inside out, right?
Oh, sweetie. Yeah. It's good though. This kind of reflection. This is one of the things that I love about this process, is that you're training your brain to focus on some things that are more expansive and some ways that you can contribute. Because you see, people, these standards of integrity are good for just a couple things. Number one, the privilege of contributing them. The privilege of contributing them to other people. And the second thing that they're good for is discovering your voice of wisdom, which we're going to be doing in about 2 minutes. So your standards of integrity, you see, it's important to see them. It's important to see what you are here to do during your lifetime. Okay, your really basic proclivity, your basic, it's almost like a promise you made that this is what I'm going to be contributing in my life. This is how I'm going to be making a difference. Now, just one or two more, because I really want to get on to what's next. So who else? Steve, and then Sandy. Just some bottom lines here, please.
Bottom line, sure. My step 3 list, the one that I'm challenged with is the whole idea of role model, right? And I could sense that I am that for others. I could feel it, but it's the whole idea of owning it. And I've had this challenge for probably all my life, taking compliments and not being in the spotlight.
Oh, I got
so
it.
It raises a question, and obviously, I mean, you were on my list, by the way, Maria. Anyway, it's probably not the first time. So, but the question that's coming up for me is, why am I asking myself this question? What's the struggle I'm having with owning this? So,
well, let's talk about it in a second, in this way. Look at the following question. Okay. In not owning this, okay, what am I giving myself permission to cop out with? What am I giving myself permission to not make a difference? Got it?
I'm laughing, Maria, because this reminds me of a speech you gave. I saw it on YouTube. I laughed so hard. What I admire about Maria, she's intelligent, professional, she's a trailblazer, but she has such a great sense of humor. And I remember her talking, and someone asked her a question, and Maria says, well, if I tell you that, I'm going to have to charge you extra for this speech. So that's what I'm thinking. What a great question. And I'm saying, is she going to charge me extra for this webinar?
No, I'm not going to charge you extra.
That is a wonderful question, Maria. That is a wonderful question.
Good. So I would love you, sir, to answer it for yourself and then set aside for the rest of your life this whole notion of, I am not going to look at what I'm here to contribute. I'm going to let myself just get away with it, with not contributing. And that's not what you're here for. That's not what anyone is here for in this room. Do you hear what I'm saying, folks? You are here to make a difference. You are here, Shauna, to make a difference with those qualities that are your standards of integrity. So we're going to get onto that in just 1 minute. I'm going to give you 2 things to look at. But Sandy, I know you have something you want to say to me before we go on.
I think we heard from Sandy. Is there anything else you wanted to share, Sandy? Oh, you're good.
I'm fine. Thank you, though.
Oh, absolutely, sweetheart. Good. So listen, now you put on the top, these are my standards of integrity. These are my standards of integrity. comma, I am, colon, and then you list all these things. And then at the bottom, you put, yes, courageous, all of these things that you may want to put. And then at the bottom, you put, I know they are mine because I see them in others. I know they are mine because I see them in others. Okay, so this is do that right now. And now I'm going to give you some direct coaching here. Number 1, put your standards of integrity on a card, something manageable that you can hold. Somewhere where you can see them every day. You know, you might find a beautiful way to display them. Oh, that's Shauna. Very good, sweetheart. But you see, I'd love you to put it where you can see them every day. Some people have their standards of integrity card next to their computer so they can see it and look at it. And because what you're doing, folks, just by looking at this, Laura, Vicky, Shauna, Sandy, just by looking at this, you are orienting your brain automatically toward what it is you want to contribute. Remember, your standards of integrity buy you nothing but the opportunity to contribute to them. Is this clear? So the more you look at them every day, the more your brain will begin to gather evidence for them. Boy, if we had another hour, Josh, I could show them the 4 boxes and all that stuff, but you know, we wanted to pack as much as we could into these 90 minutes. So the first thing is, please put them on a card, find a way to see them. Some people have even made posters out of theirs as well as a small card. Just like this thing you see here is a little about almost poster size. That's clear, yes? Number 2, I'm going to show you how to consult your voice of wisdom because we're going to do it right now. Now, this is how you do it. Your voice of wisdom lives inside of your standards of integrity. It's the home of your voice of wisdom. And right now, what I'd like you to do is think about one thing that you would like an answer to. Something, and this is how it has to look. Your voice of wisdom is not in the past. It will not relate to the past. Your voice of wisdom will not relate to the far future. Your voice of wisdom is only here with you, like, what's my next step? What would I? And so this is how you do it. You say to yourself, what would someone who is, and in this case, what would someone who is devoted, audacious, enthusiastic, compassionate, empowering, creative, loving, playful, attuned, What is this word? I can't see it.
Visionary.
Visionary, forthright,
Forthright. Mhm.
and vulnerable. You say, what would someone who is, and you read the list out loud to yourself. Okay, what would someone who is da 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 da, da do next in this situation? So I want to try it right now. Think of something that you want guidance from your voice of wisdom, something regarding what to do next about something. Okay, folks? You can take that down right now. So looking at your standards of integrity, I want you to read them out loud to yourself. What would someone who is da, 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 dum, dum, do next? And listen to the voice of wisdom. If you do not hear it the first time, ask again. But this is the secret, folks. You must be willing to do what your voice of wisdom says. That's the bargain here. The bargain is, I will do whatever it says. So right now, think of something that you want the answer to in terms of what to do next. There's a situation where it's something you want to do or think about, or something is there, and you have a question about what to do next. So do this right now. Read your standards of integrity out loud, first saying, what would someone who is, and then you read the standards of integrity, do next in this situation? Do it now. You're on mute, so read it out loud. Lynn, read it out loud to yourself. What would someone who is? Justin, try it out. Lisa, come on. Come on, folks. This is what you came for. Miriam, Dominica, Ole, this is what would someone who is do next? Write down exactly what you heard. And if you didn't hear anything, read your standards of integrity again. What would someone who is da, 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 do next? Your voice of wisdom is a small, sweet voice. Josh, we're going to put them in their groups again, the same groups, for 4 minutes. For 4 minutes. And I want you to tell your small group what happened. What happened? And I asked my standards of integrity what to do next. What did I hear? What happened? Got it?
Mhm.
Perfect. Can we do it now? Okay, my dears. Were some of you successful in discovering your voice of wisdom? Getting an answer that you seek? You see, if you didn't, don't despair. Just ask again, because see, sometimes the brain needs to be trained. And this is a very special kind of a question that you're asking. Do you see? What would someone who is do next? I've been doing this now for quite a while, and it's astounding what I get as an answer. Sometimes it's just so obvious, you know, so simple. Oh my God. But this is the thing, you must do what your voice of wisdom said. Will you do that? Will you do that? Yeah, of course, Jennifer, an obvious answer. Yeah, sometimes it is, you know, very obvious. So I want to take a moment. Is there something one of you, one or two of you want to say about what you learned tonight? Please. One of you. Yes.
So, so Justin was in my my group, and he's actually quite helpful in explaining, you know, how, because I was thinking, I wasn't sure what question to ask in the first place. And he recommended, I mean, it doesn't have to be a big question.
No,
It can
no.
be something, yeah, simple as, you know, like what I should be doing next, like for the day, or when I'm
Yes.
overwhelmed with so
Yes.
many things that need
Yes.
to get done.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, so because earlier I was thinking, oh, what is the big question I would like
No,
to
no,
ask?
no, no. It has to be a
So,
small, sweet question
yeah.
for a small, sweet answer, because you see, the voice of wisdom really exists so much in the here and now. And let's tell the truth, folks. Isn't taking life step by step much easier and simpler than trying to figure it all out at once? Absolutely. Alejandra, you have your hand up?
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
I just wanted to point out that I did this exercise in the Human Money course, and I noticed some differences in my standards of integrity. But I figured that as we evolve as people, we focus on different things. But at the core, I noticed, well, most of the standards of integrity are the same,
Absolutely.
except for one. That's I wrote down brave or courageous.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that on my list the first time. So I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to, I'm trying to act on it
Good.
more
Good.
right now.
Good.
But
I
I
love
mean,
it.
it's, you know, they're not static. They're not supposed to be static, right? They can change with time.
Well, they might, you know, I've done this, as you can imagine, many, many, many times. And I have, let's say, the core. There are probably 8 or 9 that just, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
This is who I am. This is what I'm up to in life. And maybe a couple might change around the edges, but you all know, you know what's important to you. You know who you are, really. It's just time, folks, for you to declare, this is who I am. And this is what I'm here to contribute to the world. Do you see that, Alejandra?
Yes.
Good. How about you, Vicky and Tilly
Thank you,
and
Maria.
Roberto? Absolutely. Roberta and Laura and Lisa, Michelle, Justin, Jennifer, Lynn, Ole, Dominica, Matthew, Sandy, Lydia, Miriam, Stacy, Shauna, Bao, Steve, Justin. Do you see that this is who you are? This is what you're here to contribute to life. Be willing to see it. So many people in life, folks, never see who they are. And you are seeing it. You are being given the opportunity by yourself to see it. So I just want to end our time together tonight by acknowledging you. And you know, Alejandra, you may want to, instead of brave, you may want to put courageous, because courageous is cœur, it's of the heart.
Okay.
And this is you. Brave is more like bravado, showing off.
Yeah, that's not what I
So,
mean.
nah. So everybody, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
And
Maria.
absolutely. And we want to hear from you. You know, if you want, you can go to the website, our website, and leave a message for us. Right, Josh?
Yep, absolutely. And we'll be sending out, as Maria mentioned, the recording of this session tonight, if you want to listen back to it later. And always feel free to respond to that email with a note if you want to share something you got out of tonight's session.
Please.
We'd love to
Please.
hear from you.
Ah, love to hear from you. Okay. Good. Okay, Lynn Sadler, my buddy. It's good. Okay, sweethearts, please have a wonderful evening or day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.